Carnivore diet, time for me to start it.
Wait, what?
Not just joking. But what we are talking about today is this carnivore diet that is very popular and has a bunch of issues with it that honestly is going to create a lot of controversy because these people are very passionate.
I think anyone who has an extreme diet is passionate.
100%.
If you're like carnivore,
keto, vegan, whatever, you name it.
You don't see people coming, I am so passionate about a balanced diet. It just doesn't happen. People who go into these extreme diets.
It's like a religion.
Really are passionate
Zealots.
about it. Right.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning of this diet. What is the carnivore diet?
Carnivore diet consists of eating animal products primarily, if not only.
Yeah, so the strictest form is truly only animal products.
That's right.
So that means no plants, no fruits, no vegetables, no nuts, no seeds, nothing. Just animal products.
Okay.
It seems like a good idea.
It seems obvious that it's not a good idea. I mean, I spent so many years telling my kids to eat their vegetables. I never thought I'd have to say it again now that they've grown up and they have kind of good eating habits, but here we are.
Right. So there are some wild animals and other animals that are obligate carnivores. We are not them. So the thought behind this diet is talking about our ancestors way back, who knows even how many, 10,000 or whatever million years ago that you think, how they ate high-fat, high-protein diets. And some fossil studies have shown that maybe this is true, but other studies have clearly shown they actually did eat a fair number of plants. But the reason that
they lived to 32.
Yeah, that's right, because you're being chased by like a dinosaur or whatever, if you believe that. So, but what it means,
we never overlapped with the dinosaurs.
What it means is that these people did not have food security. So when you found an animal or you happened to kill an animal by hunting, you ate as much as you could because you didn't know when your next meal was coming. And usually what was available were animals. There was not regular farming, there were not industrialized farm practices, there were not stores where you go buy food. Like nowadays we have unlimited access to food. So this is one of the arguments that, hey, our ancestors do it, maybe we should do it.
Okay, Mutual of Omaha. But now people are talking about carnivore diets for other reasons.
You know that show that they used to stage those catching of the animals?
Really?
Yeah, I was disappointed to learn that when I was a kid, it was always on Sunday nights, and we'd watch it, and they would catch the animal, and then they would release them, and then film them catching them again. But it seemed like it was like so real. But
it did.
I know, very disappointing. Anyways, go ahead.
Nobody out there probably remembers Mutual of Omaha.
Our viewers do, because they're in that demographic. They probably did. Leave a comment if you watch Mutual of Omaha.
Okay, but the modern day carnivore is drawn to the carnivore diet because they may have seen some immediate results of, hey, this is really working. I'm losing weight. I'm trying this carnivore diet. I'm feeling good and I'm losing weight. Why is that?
Okay, so yeah, definitely it's popular with the gym bros and the gym bro science and people really trying to increase their muscle mass because of the protein content. The reason that it has potential to help early on is for a bunch of reasons. So one, when you eat a diet that's very restrictive, regardless of what it is, chances are your calories are going to go down. So
elimination, you're eliminating other foods.
Yeah, so you reduce the calories, so this can show weight benefits, but when you eliminate these other foods, you're eliminating a whole bunch of things. So you're eliminating anything from a box, which we would say you should do anyway, so highly processed foods. You're eliminating highly refined grains. You're eliminating sugary snacks as well as drinks. So these things we've talked about all the time.
Good things to eliminate.
They're good things to eliminate, and that might be part of why you feel better. The other thing is when you eliminate all those other things, you may have some things that you had subtle intolerances or potentially allergies to that you weren't aware of that now are removed, so you're like, oh, you know what, my stomach feels a little bit better, I'm a little bit less inflamed, whatever. There's a lot of potential benefits of these elimination style diets, but it's really, you're just eliminating everything, so it's gonna ease your gut. And some people say that things like leaky gut and your gut microbiome can improve when you do this initially.
All right, here's why it's not good for you.
Okay.
First of all, you could actually be, in a way, malnutritioned because you're missing out on a lot of essential vitamins and other nutrients that you just can't get from only animal products. Vitamin C, for example.
So theoretically, you could develop scurvy. A lot of these do take a long time to develop, so early on, you're not going to have signs of most of these micronutrient or phytochemical deficiencies.
Right, so you're missing out on a host of essential vitamins and nutrients that you're not going to get just from the animal product.
Right, so that's one. The second one is if you have existing kidney disease, that protein load can be very dangerous for you. Obviously, most people do not have kidney disease, but if you have borderline kidney function or kidney damage, this amount of protein definitely is a problem.
Okay, and another thing is if you're like me and your body has a problem with cholesterol, and you make too much cholesterol, or your cholesterol levels are a little bit high, or you have a family history of high cholesterol, a heavy animal-based diet will increase your cholesterol levels.
Right, because of the often obligatory amounts of saturated fats. And there is controversy as to how much saturated fat is going to increase your levels of LDL, or the bad cholesterol, and it's linked to heart disease. We have videos about this. But generally speaking, this has been shown to increase your risk of cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, and the problem is that, I mean, that is well shown. The increased cholesterol, increased LDL, that will increase your risk of heart disease.
Yes.
Where the controversy comes in is if you take medicines to reduce that, are you going to live longer? And I'm fine, I can accept those controversies, but it's irrefutable that these high levels are linked to heart disease.
Decades of solid research, regardless of how you feel about Big Pharma. Okay, another issue with the carnivore diet is an issue with constipation. Unfortunately, if you're a diet that has essentially zero fiber, constipation is going to become a very big problem. And that amount of, they believe, the combination of protein, lack of fiber, increases your risk of colon cancer quite specifically.
All right.
There's
oh, really?
Oh yeah, there's definitely more. So the other thing is anti-aging properties. So a lot of people who believe in the carnivore diet will say that there are chemicals in plants that actually are bad for you, that plants have devised a way to have these chemicals to make them less appealing to animals.
Yeah, just don't eat poison ivy.
Right, so having said that though, these are the exact same compounds that have been shown to reverse aging or reduce aging, like resveratrol, things like in grapes and other plants. So that whole rationale of don't eat plants because we're not supposed to, or not designed to eat plants, totally breaks down on a scientific level. The last thing that I would say about the carnivore diet is, if you go to the National Library of Congress database, where all randomized controlled trials and published medical literature exists, there are 0 studies on the carnivore diet. There are lots of studies about carnivore diet in dogs, in cats, in other obligate carnivores, but we are not them. There are no studies. And so a couple things. In general, diet research, food-based research, supplement research is not very well done because it's complicated, it's expensive, and it's easier just to release something and say something and start propagating. But there's no data. So if you are a carnivore lover and you really love the carnivore, please organize a randomized controlled trial and please show us somehow that A, it's going to help in the short term, but B, more importantly, the long term. This is my big fear for these people. If you do it for a month and you lose 20 pounds and you feel better, great. But 20 years from now, your risk of heart disease and cancer and other medical problems are going to be very significant.
So we're not going to tell you what to eat and what not to eat. We're just reviewing some of the literature about the carnivore diet and some of the implications of it. If you're thinking of going down that road, you really should know this stuff that we just talked about.
Make sure you bring some Metamucil if you are going down that road. And then the last thing I would say is be careful of people that promote this diet, because throughout YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all these platforms, a lot of people are selling you stuff. So beware of someone that's selling you a book or that's selling you a supplement. And if you have to take a ton of supplements to deal with your crazy diet, maybe it's not a good diet.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of diets in general, but I think you should have a good diet in general. But yeah, I mean, really educate yourself well before you embark on this type of lifestyle eating.
And we're not sponsored by anybody, so what people eat doesn't really matter to us.
I thought you were sponsored by kale.
No, I'm a self-promoter of kale. I'm not sponsored per se.
The bully of all green leafy vegetables.
It doesn't have to be a bully. Science just shows that it's good for you.
I read that how we learned that we could eat kale was someone who was walking through a kale field, cut themselves on the kale, and bit it out of anger and said, hey, we can actually eat this.
Yeah, no, that's not true at all. But the chicken wing.
The chicken wing. We are trying to get sponsored by the chicken wing.
No, we are not. You maybe are.
Honey garlic, barbecue, dry rub.
There you go. We're not sponsored by anybody. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel. Even if you don't like this video, leave a comment. Tell us your experience with either the carnivore diet or someone you know who's on the carnivore diet.
And just don't believe everything you see on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Wait, that's us. Yeah.
Never mind.
Don't believe the hype. Public Enemy said it best.
You are in charge of your own health.
We'll see you next time.